Hello everybody and welcome to today's vlog. It is actually International Beer Day today, August 3rd, as of when we are filming this right now. So I had to ship in a German all the way from the great state of Bavaria. We've got my buddy Chris here, and he is like a little bit of a beer expert compared to me. I lived in Germany for a year when I was really young, but I was only 5 years old, so I was not drinking beer at the time, and I've visited a few times since, but he's been really helpful in like educating me about some of these great beer things that they have in Germany, because Germany has an amazing beer culture, and I think there's a lot of excellent Swedish beers as well. So in this video, we are gonna explain some of the differences between the German beers on this side, some of the Swedish beers and different drinks that we have over here, and then we're gonna do a blind taste test and see if we can tell the difference between a cheaper German beer and a cheaper Swedish beer. So before we go any further in this video, I want to talk about the laws in the two countries, and it's really important that whichever country you are in, you are following the laws regarding alcohol. The laws are there for a reason. In Germany, the laws are a little bit more relaxed than in Sweden. What is the drinking age for beer in Germany?
Yeah, you have to be 16. You can buy them in restaurants and in the grocery stores too. Yeah, and I think it's much better than in Sweden.
But I did take him to a Systembolaget, and to buy alcohol at the Systembolaget in Sweden, you need to be 20 for pretty much all alcohol. If you go out to a restaurant or something, you can be 18 in Sweden. But to go to the Systembolaget, you have to be older, it's more controlled. But I took Chris to the Systembolaget, and you were kind of surprised, right? Because you'd never seen so much alcohol in one place, like a store that only sells alcohol, because in Germany, it's nothing special. You go to the grocery store and you get cold beer at every corner, wherever you want it, any time of day, and it's much more controlled here in Sweden. So that's a huge difference, I think, between the two cultures surrounding beer. Why don't you talk about some of the German beers that we have here on the right side?
Yeah, so the first thing we got is Radler. It's 50% lemonade and 50% beer. Yeah. But the Germans say it's Radler is kein Alkohol, cause
no alcohol in the Radler.
So because it's so sweet and stuff like that.
So this one's what, maybe 2-3%, because it's half lemonade, half beer.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But it's really tasty. The name Radler, I think, comes from like riding a bike, right? So it's what the bicyclists would drink a Radler after a long ride. It's like a really refreshing drink.
Yeah. So the other three beers are Weiss beer, or called Weizen. You can buy all of them in Systembolaget.
Yeah, we actually bought all three of these in Systembolaget in Sweden. So these three are available at the Systembolaget. The Radler we couldn't find at Systembolaget, so this is brought all the way from Bavaria. But these three you can buy. And these, what's special about Weiss beer?
Yeah, special about Weiss beer is that you don't drink it out of this glass or this glass. You must take this one. And
we can show them this one. Yeah. This glass is a special shape that the Germans will drink their Weiss beer out of, and we weren't able to actually find some glasses like this in Sweden. They're really tough to find, but it has to do with the usually these glasses are a half liter. And it's the shape of the glass. It starts out wide, comes small, and then comes big again. And it's really the optimal glass to drink a Weissbier. So when he came to Sweden and asked for a Weissbier, and they tried to give him a normal glass, he said, "No, I need a special a Weissbier glass, and there's a special way to pour it so that you spin it around, right, every little bit, so that it gets properly mixed throughout. Otherwise, there's some sediments in the bottom or something." One thing that Chris showed me that's really tasty is it's called a Cola Weizen, where you take Weissbier and Coca-Cola. You can't do this with normal beer, but if you do it with a Weissbier, it's really a good, refreshing combo.
Good,
I really enjoy mixing the Weissbier with the Coca-Cola. So a Cola Weizen, if you ever go to Germany, order a Cola Weizen and you probably won't be disappointed, unless you're not really into sweeter things. I kind of have a sweet tooth, so I definitely like that one. And then we have a much bigger glass here. This is actually from one of Lynn's college parties. I think they had a Swedish Oktoberfest for one of her college, but what's this called in German?
It's a Mass beer.
A Mass beer.
Yeah.
This is 1 liter, right?
Yeah.
And so Germans will drink out of these for Oktoberfest or different festivals and things. So if you want a big one like that, you just say ein Maß bitte, right?
Yeah.
And then they'll give you a liter of some good German beer. Now we're going to flip over to the Swedish side. I think the Swedish beer is also really good. I've got some of the ones that I personally enjoy here. This is just actually a really common one in Sweden, Norrlands Guld. We're actually going to use this one for the blind taste test in a little bit. This one is brewed from the island of Gotland. It's the Visby Pils. I think this is a really, really good beer made in Sweden. So I really enjoy getting this one at Systembolaget. And they also make some really good IPAs. In America, we say IPA for India Pale Ale. And in Sweden, they don't say IPA, they say IPA. So if you say IPA, sometimes people look at you a little funny here because they say IPA. But IPAs are really, really common where I'm from, in the Portland, Oregon area, and also here in Sweden. But in Germany, IPAs are not really common. They mostly stick with lagers and pilsners and Weizbiers and those sorts of things. But yeah, Swedes have similar beer tastes, I think, to where I'm from in America, especially when it comes to the IPAs. And also the Swedes are really known for good ciders. I know this isn't a beer, but this is a really, really interesting one, a banana cider. So you've never really tried cider before. So that just goes to show that this is something that's really a Swedish thing. We do drink cider as well in America, but I really enjoy it. It's really refreshing. It's more of a sweet taste than beer. But tons of different cider flavors. We have cider as well in America, but I don't think we have as many different flavors and things that they have in Sweden. This one is just a really cheap beer, but it's a famous Swedish brewery, Åbro. They make a bunch of really good beers. This one's just a little bit cheaper one, and it reminds me of what like Americans really enjoy, because Americans like the really lighter beers like Corona. So I just like this one on a really, really hot day. It's really refreshing, but it's not like a super quality beer in my opinion. But this brewery does make a lot of better ones. And then this one is one that I found at Systembolaget, made in Gothenburg. It is a Stark Pilsner, so strong Pilsner. And I really like Pilsners and lagers and those types of things. And there are a lot of good breweries and different things to discover in Sweden when it comes to beer. And even in Norrköping, there's a couple of places here in Norrköping that actually brew their own beer, and it's actually pretty good. But with that being said, we're gonna put this to the real test and compare. We can't really compare these ones because these are like special Weizen beers. There's nothing, it'd be like comparing apples to oranges if we were to taste test these things. So we actually, this is leftover from when my parents and I were in Denmark. This is a German beer called Schultenbrau. We picked this up for like €1 or something in Denmark, and we just didn't drink it. So we brought it home and put it in the fridge. So we're gonna use this and blind test this with the Norrlands Guld, because I think a bottle of Norrlands Guld is right around €1, maybe a little bit more as well. So similar pricing, just cheap beer in both countries, and we're gonna taste test the German versus the Swedish. So guys, for this blind taste test, we've got two pieces of equipment here. The first is this blindfold that I basically only used on the flight over last year, that 10-hour flight over from America. Didn't think I was gonna be using this to drink beer, but I only used it for sleeping on the plane on the way over before. And then we've also got a Fidget spinner bottle opener. Yes, I think this is the coolest bottle opener one can get their hands on, specially made by the college students here in Norrköping. I saw that some of the college students had this, and I'm like, what is that? A fidget spinner? And it opens a bottle, it has a purpose? So I had to get my hands on one of these, and Lynn hooked it up with one of these. So I'm gonna open both of these, and then Chris, why don't you put the blindfold on? Yep. He's gonna do the blind taste test first, tell us which beer he likes more. Is it the Swedish one or the German one? And this is gonna be interesting. All right, so we've got 2 beers here. We're gonna give you this one first. Okay.
It's good. It's okay.
It's okay?
Yeah. Right. I think this is the Swedish one.
You think that's the Swedish one? All right. And then we'll give you this one here.
I think this was it was good, but yeah, I think it's a cheap one. So yeah, it was okay. It was okay. Yeah.
So which one did you like more, the first one or the second one?
I think the first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first one was actually the Swedish one.
Oh.
That was the Norrlands Guld. So this one you thought was just a little bit better, and this is like a really cheap German beer for comparison. But hand up to Norrlands Guld. They won the first round. Now it's time for me to take the test too. And I haven't drank either of these in quite some time, so it'll be interesting to see what I think. I feel like that's the German one.
The one.
Okay. I feel like that second one's Norrlands Guld.
Okay.
How'd I do?
Yeah, you were true.
Okay, I was correct.
The first one was the German one, and the second one was the Swedish one, yeah.
Okay, so we actually both liked the Norrlands Guld a little bit more than this one. The Norrlands Guld and the Swedish Beer are gonna win the cheap blind taste test, actually. But my all-time favorite beers are those Weizen beers that you don't really make in Sweden. So for me, it's a toss-up. But I gotta say, for the cheap beer, the Swedes did pretty well on this one. So with that being said, guys, we're gonna wrap this video up right here. And yeah, thanks for being a part of the video today. So with that being said, guys, I will see you in the next one. Like and subscribe if you have not done that already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.